Now the presidential race for 2024 and the Iowa caucuses kicking off the race last night for the White House. The results rather unsurprising in Iowa. Former President Trump easily swept the competition as was expected. Last night's caucuses largely considered a contest for second place, which Florida Governor Ron DeSantis won, but barely, especially given where he once was in the polls there. Coming in a very close third, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley. Now all eyes turn from Iowa to New Hampshire, the first state to have a real primary election. So let's get the 411 in all this. ABC News Deputy Political Director Averi Harper now in New Hampshire after a long night in Iowa. I assume it was long, Averi. Let's start with the arithmetic. Even if you combine DeSantis and Haley, they don't reach the number that Trump had, 51%. And yes, some people are excited, but it appears so improbable that either one of them can beat Mr. Trump in the primaries. Or am I just wrong?
Yeah, Bill. Listen, Bill, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for anyone not named Donald Trump to clinch this nomination. The dynamics here on the ground in New Hampshire are a bit different than they were in Iowa. We see in recent polling that Nikki Haley is within striking distance of former President Trump. But when you look at contests beyond New Hampshire, it becomes the question of if there is a viable path for her to become the nominee. And the same goes for Ron DeSantis, who is polling in single digits here in New Hampshire and in South Carolina.
All right, so let's look at each of those. First, the single digits so far in New Hampshire for the governor of Florida. He's going to have an uphill battle, right?
Definitely. He is trying to make his voice heard. He's trying to shake hands and speak to New Hampshire voters. But time is running out. He only has a few days left to make sure folks know about who he is and what his agenda is before folks head out to vote. Okay,
let me talk to you about Haley now, because she has only recently come up with a new mantra. Time to get away from the Trump/Biden way of running the country, crafty way of trashing both men and trying to appeal to both of their constituencies. So chances of that being successful, what are the odds there?
Right. She has tried to frame herself as a new generation of conservative leadership. And by clumping them both together, Trump and Biden, she's trying to get at the lack of enthusiasm that there is for a rematch between the two men. But the problem with that strategy is that former President Trump remains very popular with the Republican Party. So time will tell if that strategy will be effective.
Okay. Last question. Donald Trump once again today appearing in court. The latest of his many legal problems, of course, that you know well about that. But he keeps pushing the delay until after the November election. Chances are he won't be able to do all that with all of his indictments and lawsuits. It's hard. We've never seen anything like this in American politics.
Right, it's definitely a very unique situation, and we'll see if he's able to keep himself from having to stand trial before the 2024 elections. But one thing is for sure, he is using these court appearances as an extension of his campaign. He goes to court, he stands before the cameras, he talks to reporters, and he continues to fundraise off of these court appearances. And so far, it just has not affected his run.